Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and thank you so much for subscribing and dropping comments, likes. I really appreciate it, guys. And if you haven't, please join the family, join the Felix the Twitter family, and let's interact. So this is one of the modules that it is getting phased out by Unisa, and I'm not so sure yet where they're gonna place it because it's gonna become a year module. So one thing that you just have to be on the lookout for, because remember I gave you one video about what's really going to be expected of you on 37, or what is it, 3703, what's going to be expected of you, like just knowing your formats and everything. But there's also another technique that I've actually grown to actually understand and like look at, which can be also helpful. Remember, I'm not endorsing and rubber stamping anything, but it's just an idea to actually also help you with your studies. Because if you're here, you're looking at this video, you're looking for additional support, it's part of that additional support. So if you look at the study guide that they have for FAC 3703, it's a disjointed study guide. And what I mean as a disjointed study guide is one chapter does not really depend on the next chapter. One chapter does not depend on the next one, the next one, the next one. It doesn't have that fluidity. So in my own opinion, rather start with the financial chapter number 1, which is your financial instruments. Then you go to your borrowing costs. Then you deal with your related parties. You deal with your employee benefits. Then after your employee benefits, then you do the leases. The reason why I would advise you to take it in that order is leases, it's a very long chapter. And a lot of people are complaining that, yo, Felix, usually you put out your videos after examination. This video is coming out hopefully before you even start your studies, or when you are just at the beginning of your studies. Don't quickly jump into leases. Please don't quickly jump into leases. There is so much going on there. By the time you finish, you'll be towards an exam, and you end up missing out on really perfecting the other chapters. Because if you skip the other small chapters, you miss the odd marks. And the odd marks sometimes do count and sometimes are enough and will be the ones which are required to carry you past an examination. So my best advice to this module, be on top of that advice that I gave you about the formats. Make sure you start with your financial instruments. You're done with your financial instruments, skip leases, please. You're going to do leases for the leasee, leases for the leaseor. You're going to do an operating lease. You're going to do a financing lease. You're going to do a short-term lease. It's almost 5. And by the time you finish, to now start borrowing costs, to now start employee benefits, usually you're out of time. So my best advice would be start with the small chapters first. Finish the small chapters first, because they are not following each other. You can literally do all of them. Then after you're done with all of them, you can then sit and concentrate on leases. By the time you finish the leases, hopefully to be towards your examination preparation time, your mind is still fresh. When you get into the exam, start again answering those smaller questions which demand less of you, which is your financial instruments, your borrowing costs. Then commit most of your time in your exam towards finalizing or answering questions relating to leases. So I hope this piece of advice is going to help, because a lot of students don't complete the examination, especially the one for leases, because the calculations are usually a lot. There's a lot of calculations that are going to be required of you. And if you don't do them correctly, you also are at a back foot. So you need to take your time on the leases, but take your time after having finished completing all these other smaller chapters that are going to be required of you. So I hope that this piece of advice is going to help you on your studies and help you finish a paper and help you just finish and complete your qualification and module without being forced to then go into the other stream, which is going to be required to just do the whole thing in a year. Keep up the hard work, keep up the good work. Remember, like, subscribe, share, let's interact, and I wish you all the best with your studies. Thank you.